I've just had a little switcheroo of things in my office slash art room. So before, when you came in on the left hand side here, this is where the desk was, and then this unit was this end. So it kind of felt quite narrow this end and then opened out into a bigger space, and it just didn't feel right. But now I've moved it all around. Doesn't quite show it in this video, but it feels huge. I kind of wanted to get it so that my desk had a lot more natural light coming onto it, so that when I did art I had a bit more natural lighting. This is north facing, so to have these two windows here is nice. I didn't put my desk here originally because I don't like having my screens backlit, but I figured I can just pull the curtains across if it's too much, but I'm never going to have like a really harsh lighting in here as it's north facing anyway. So yeah, I've got all this extra space over here. I've got the Wi-Fi and my chest of drawers that I had when I was a baby, my changing chest of drawers in there. I've got a load of stuff. At some point I'll do a proper like studio tour and go through everything, but this is kind of organised chaos at the moment. Most of these are empty. I need to reorganise these drawers and just give everything a proper tidy up, but I just had that itch of wanting to move stuff around today, so I thought I would scratch it and then show you before we jump into making something. And today I'm planning on switching things up, so I really wanted to start including some watercolour into my abstract pieces. I've tried watercolour painting quite a long time ago now in my sort of creative journey, experimenting with different mediums and stuff, but I really did love it. I just didn't have the patience to learn how to make something look realistic at the time, but obviously things have evolved and I'm really sort of going down this abstract route at the moment, but I wanted to start including different mediums into that. So I've got my watercolours. These were gifted to me by a viewer, and there's a mix of different watercolour paints in here. I will try and remember to link that video below if you want to see me testing and trying them out and to find out what they actually are. Yeah, so there's a little mixture, a little taster of everything, so there's some really vibrant colours in there. I might have to do a little swatch thing again to remind myself what everything is. I've also got this Winsor & Newton watercolour 300 gram 9x12 inch paper. So yeah, I've not used this before, so it'd be interesting to see how that goes. It's lovely. I really love the texture. That's part of what draws me to watercolour painting, is the like lovely texture of the paper that people use, and just how, I don't know, it just looks so lovely at the end. So yeah, I'm gonna try some pieces on here, use my watercolour paints, potentially mix in some of my Caran d'Ache Neo colours. These are the Neo Colour 2, so they're water soluble, so I might end up like blending them in or use them as a little pop of colour extra, I'm not sure. And to hand I've got my Posca pens and some fine liners and stuff as well, but I'm in my little art room and everything's sort of in reach and distance, so who knows what I'll grab. I've got some old masking tape that used to sort of rip my paper to shreds a bit, but not as much as the frog tape does when you haven't got gesso underneath it. So I'm going to give this one a go and just see how it works with this paper. I've never tried the two together before. Got some watercolour paint brushes which are separate from all of my acrylics. I'll never use these with anything but watercolour because I've heard that is what you're supposed to do. These were also gifted to me by a lovely viewer, so yeah, I'm gonna have a go with those. And in terms of like mixing palettes, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but usually for my acrylic paint I use this, it's just a photo frame, like the glass out of a photo frame, so we'll see how things mix on there, and I might then layer acrylics on top as well, but we'll see. So yeah, I know I've been kind of experimenting with lots of different things for a long time, and I thought I was going down this like abstract acrylic route, but it's not quite evolved just yet into something that I want to sort of continue with constantly. So I just want to keep experimenting and adding new things and trying things until I find my style, if that's ever going to happen. I think I'm so multi-passionate, easily distracted, so I might not ever find a style that I stick to, but hopefully I will one day find something that's sort of recognisably me as an artist. But until then, we will keep playing and having fun. So I hope you enjoy watching me create something. Okay, so I've just been having a play and the paper's quite buckled up, so I'm going to let that dry off and hopefully it will flatten itself out. I don't know, I'm not sure. I love how you get this like defined edge on some bits, but you can kind of blur it out and mix it into other colours. I love the way that watercolour looks. I think it's just so pretty. I think I've made a few errors with my colour choices. I didn't really plan out what I was doing, and I think it's probably a bit busy, so I am going to go over and use the Caran d'Ache Neo colours and potentially some acrylic as well, just to kind of add some more neutral areas, add some like bigger like areas of colour, or take away colour by adding in like white Neo colour. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, I need to let that dry and then I'm definitely going to work into it some more. But yeah, it's been fun so far. Mix in some acrylic. I've got all my little brushes to see if I can get some interesting techniques, but I'm also going to try mixing acrylic with a bit more water to see how it compares with watercolours. I've also added some of the Neo Colour 2s onto here, so I'm just going to blend them in a little bit by adding water to them. As much as I love the texture of the paper, I don't want it appearing everywhere, so it's kind of picking up the paint that's underneath as well. But as I don't have a white watercolour paint, then this seems to work quite well actually. So let's kind of compare. This is titanium white Pebeo Studio acrylics. See how that kind of looks. Yeah, it's kind of similar. It's all kind of mixing in, isn't it? I feel like I want to use my fingers in this, but I don't want to get all messy. It's really interesting how adding the acrylic white, obviously it's mixed with waters and then it's reactivating the layers below and kind of all blending in together. Trying to do some like different techniques across the paper to see how everything looks, and just to add a bit of like textural interest in different ways. Yeah, I don't think I've made it less busy, but it's been interesting. I'm going to have a go with a palette knife as well actually, and just put on pure acrylic paint and not use any water, so that I'm not blending the layers below. I love it. I'm so pleased with this. I love the effects that you can get with the acrylic on this textured paper. I love the way watercolour looks, and especially where you layer it up, you can see where the previous sort of sections of colour on layers below stopped. You can't really fully cover stuff up with watercolour, but I quite like that. You can see all the layers that have gone into the piece. I'm glad I covered up that green because it just was the only bit green that was left. Everything else is just sort of a bit more turquoisey green. So I like how these white dots look that I did with the Posca pen. I don't love these marks here, but they're not a massive feature of the piece, so that's all right. And some of the squiggles there I don't love, so I sort of need to practice a bit with mark making, I think, and think of some different ways that I can add marks to the paper with both pens and maybe some other things as well. But yeah, I've really enjoyed creating this mixed media piece, particularly using the watercolours. I did get stuck in with my hands, I did make a mess, but it was fun and I like it, and it feels like a really nice, I don't know, it's my bright bold colours, but because they're watercolour, they're watered down, so a little bit more subtle. It's a bit wet underneath. I think that's just where I've used the hairdryer and it's like sweated. But yeah, if I do some little close-ups in a sec. Excuse the hairdryer cable that was just running through that shot. I've tidied things up now so you can just see this lovely finished piece. I'm so happy with it. I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this. I hope to create some more mixed media pieces coming soon, maybe some more that are inspired by landscapes, or yeah, just trying different colour palettes, experimenting with mark making and enjoying using this watercolour paper and my watercolour paint. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye!